Still paying attention to what's going on in the Jayhawk state of Kansas. And I want to welcome to the program right now State Representative Brett Hildabrand. Representative, thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right, we've been following the case of this journalism professor there at KU, Professor David Guth, who last week tweeted that the next time there's a mass shooting in this country, he wishes that my kids, among others, will be among the dead, the children of NRA members. As a result of this, the university has placed the professor on paid administrative leave. Are you satisfied with that?
Well, my hope is that this is just a first step. I'm really hoping that, for legal purposes, this is what they have to do initially, and then this will lead to his termination. That he'll be let go from KU.
A lot of folks are saying the professor had a First Amendment right to say what he said, and certainly I believe in a strong and robust First Amendment in this country. But the First Amendment does not protect us from the consequences of our speech. Do you think that there's a First Amendment issue here, or do you think that Professor Guth that this is not something that he can claim First Amendment protection for?
Well, I'm certainly a huge First Amendment supporter as well, but I definitely think that this crosses a line. I don't believe that the First Amendment allows a person to threaten others, to threaten their safety and endanger their lives. At that point, you're risking their rights as well.
It seems, and maybe I'm wrong on this. You tell me if this is actually what's happening in Kansas here. It seems to me that part of the problem, the professor has he's not apologized. He's not said, this was said in the heat of the moment. He's doubled, tripled down. He's even making statements that, this is really, I'm just going to take a sabbatical a little early. I know the university had to come out and say no. He's on administrative leave. He's not taking a sabbatical a little early. It seems to me like the professor here doesn't quite get what all the fuss is about.
I think that's definitely a possibility. I'm definitely a person that believes in second chances, and we all make mistakes. And I think that had he come out immediately afterwards and said what I said was wrong, is the heat of the moment, I think that the situation would be entirely different. But he, like you said, he's doubled down on a very threatening, discouraging comment, and it's making matters worse. His own personal, just sticking with a very bad statement.
Yeah, and pretty clearly, this is a statement that I think vast majority of Kansans would disagree with. I think the vast majority of KU alumni, students, staff would disagree with as well. Are you hearing from your constituents, folks within your district who are bothered by this and who would like to see the state legislature ensure that the regents or those in charge of the KU system are taking this issue seriously?
I have, yeah. I've heard back from close to a dozen parents so far that said that, they would be very discouraged from sending their students to KU, that they don't want their tuition money going to KU if KU continues if they stand behind this professor without letting him go. And so unfortunately, KU is a great institution, and I fear that this is dragging them down in the process.
That's really interesting that you've heard from that many local constituents about this issue. Have you talked with your colleagues in the legislature about this?
I have, and I would say a majority of them are in agreement with me on this. That that this looks bad for the school. This looks bad for Kansas. That this isn't the kind of thing that we want happening around here.
No, and it's interesting, Representative. We've been talking about some other colleges, not in Kansas, but out in California, for instance. On Constitution Day, there was a student at a community college who was trying to hand out copies of the Constitution. It was prohibited from doing so. He was told he had to go to the designated free speech area, which was like a little concrete pad, and he had to schedule a time where he could go and speak. It seems to me that some folks in academia, and this is certainly not just at KU, but there are some folks in academia who want to uphold their right to say whatever the heck they want, but the rest of us have to we have to speak our mind in the time, manner, and place that they deem appropriate.
I would say that that's definitely occurring. An example of one of the emails I got supporting Professor Guth, the vast majority of them have wanted action taken, that they don't agree with that, but I have received a few that tried to say it was a First Amendment issue. And one particular one that I thought was interesting was that the person said, "I have no right to say what he can say," which I thought was very ironic, that I have no First Amendment right to say what this professor can say in the classroom.
Yeah, that's actually really, really interesting. Well, listen, Representative, I really appreciate you coming on the program, sir, and I know that this issue is going to be something that's not going to go away, and I look forward to talking to you again about it further.
Well, sounds great. I appreciate it.